Welcome to the Solemn Vanguard channel. Today we have something very exciting to discuss, something very close to my heart, the new Blue Wave cards from set 13. As most of you who have been following this channel will know, I'm a huge Aquaforce fanboy. I believe the majority of my deck profiles are Aquaforce ones. I did like 3 or 4 different Tavas profiles in a few months without any meaningful new support. I was honestly never a huge fan of Maelstrom and Blue Wave because I'm not too keen on dragons. However, Valios is not a dragon, and so now I'm hyped. Before we get into it, first a message from our sponsor. Sponsored by Royalty Playmat Designs, the perfect way to get a custom and exclusively for you design for your Vanguard playmats. Choose your units, choose some or no zones, choose a tagline, a team name, the name of your bunny, anything your heart desires at Royalty Playmat Designs. Let's start with the man of the hour himself, Valios. So far we only know he forces the opponent's Vanguard to stay at 11k once you stride, but that alone is very key already. This is one of the big problems Aquaforce has always had. One defensive trigger made almost all of your other attacks meaningless unless you trigger sacked hard. This guy luckily changes that, and we don't even know what else he does. Apart from that, he's probably the coolest looking Aquaforce unit ever to come out, so I'm totally in love. If there's an SP of him and Blue Wave becomes the better deck compared to Tavas, I'm ordering a playset right off the bat. Secondly, we have the new Restander Stride, Flood Hazard Dragon. He has 2 skills. First, he will restand and lose 3 drive checks when your Blue Wave rearguard attacks, and it's the forced battle. The cost for this is a Persona Flip, a Counterblast, and 2 discards. This sounds like a huge cost until you realize this also works on first stride, even though I personally believe this won't be used as a first stride, unless you know with 100% certainty you will win that turn. However, his second skill totally makes up for that. He permanently gains a drive check when at GB3 and gives plus 2k power to all Blue Wave rears in the front row. So he essentially attacks with 4 drive checks first and then 1 drive check after the restand. It totally makes up for the discard, and this also means you could stride into him as mini Gancelot when you're starving for resources. You could even run this guy as a one-off in Tavas for that purpose, which I will do. Also keep in mind that we have Brutal Trooper and the starter, which lets you draw on Vanguard attack. This means you get 2 draws from your 1 restanding Vanguard per card you use like that. This also pays you back that discard cost. Overall, this looks like a very solid card, and I hope there's an SP. Then there's Arsenal Fleet Dragon, the card that makes me feel dumb for ever buying Anger Boils. This card will restand on rearguard and get plus 4k when he attacks on the second battle at the cost of a Counterblast. Not only that, he can also be fetched from drop to hand when your Vanguard restands. This also pays back your minusing from Flood Hazard and allows you to get stride fodder instead of having to ditch Valios, which you want to keep in hand to use your ZR, but more on that later. I feel like the new cards don't mesh with Anger Boil at all, so I conclude we will be probably playing 4 Valios and 2 to 3 Arsenal Fleets. Misriding hurts, but isn't the end of the world since Valios on stride costs soul anyway, so you can just ride Valios over your misridden Arsenal Fleet when you draw into it, stride, Soul Blast Arsenal out, and get it back to hand later to stride the next turn. Let's discuss the man, or should I say dragon of the hour, ZEROTH, Dragon of Distancy Megado. This beast is so cool, and I've been looking forward to it for ages. Also, it doesn't really look like a dragon, that's why I don't hate it. I am, however, pretty sad that it looks worse than the fake version I created a few weeks ago. The orange border looks super dumb and my blue one looked better. Bushy, please hire me, okay, thanks, bye. Ultimate strides are a special kind of stride. They require you to discard a copy of the grade 3 you're on right now, and after the turn you use them, you lose your whole G-zone. You also need to have 3 face-up cards in the G-zone before you can stride them, so you pretty much have to win then and there, or you lose all of your strides, G-guards and GB-based skills. The Magallanica one, which can be used in Aquaforce Bermuda and Grand Blue, has the following skill. Counterblast 2, call 5 cards from hand or drop to field, they get plus 5k power, and they all get a skill that they can exchange positions with a rearguard in the same column after an attack. There's lots of potential for this card in the other 2 clans, but this video is about Blue Wave, so let's focus on that. This thing is amazing when coupled with Valios. Overall, Megado will often create 14ks, which can be stopped with 1 defensive trigger, but that isn't the case when you're on Valios. Megiddos. Megiddo can pretty much create 5 easy small attacks when not accounting for skills, but if you want to go really far, you could say theoretically create 10 or even more attacks when accounting for various skills, triggers and whatnot. He also creates a Vanguard with base 36k power, so it's harder to G-guard than his normal Stride counterparts. Overall, I see a lot of potential in this card, but 2 Counterblast is actually really expensive in this deck, so hopefully they come up with some solution for that. Then there's Gallias, the new grade 2 blue wave. He costs 1 Counterblast and a discard to then get 2 skills. He will restand with 11k if your Vanguard attacks on the 3rd battle, but he also restands after the 1st battle he does. This guy can do 3 attacks on his own. Apart from that, his art is absolutely gorgeous, so I'm hoping he's a double R. Hell, I'm hoping he becomes an SP. He does, however, go against Anger Boil super hard, since his waves don't perfectly line up with Anger's. Confirming once more, we might ditch Anger Boil. We are also getting a new grade 1 that restands when the Vanguard attacks, which is really nice and has great synergy with Gallias amongst others. Finally, we get 3 new triggers who probably all have skills since they all have 4k base power. We still have to see what skills though. We also get a new Forerunner whose skill we don't know, and Brutal Trooper, Stridefather Nikki and Foivos are getting a common reprint. So if you're one of those TCG player sellers who bought out 20 Foivos hoping to price gauge new players out of the game and make a great profit, get fucked. You wasted a lot of money and I'm loving it. And if you're someone who bought 4 Foivos for your own deck, not to worry since the reprint is a common, so you at least get some nicer bling bling to spice up your deck. Conclusion, I see quite a big problem in this support. It doesn't actually fix the biggest issues Aqua has had. The 11k fix is cool and all, but not having a great hand to build a full field still breaks your deck and makes you lose. That inconsistency is the main reason Aqua hasn't been doing well, and none of the new cards allow you to fetch important pieces. Apart from that, the Link Joker booster will come out right before set 13 drops. If you haven't seen my meta prediction video yet, check it out below. There I explain that Link Joker will become a dominant force, and guess what? Blue Wave cannot deal with that at all. So if Chaos becomes the dominant tier 1 deck, and Valios doesn't hilariously give your field resist, which would truly be the biggest fuck you ever, I am afraid Blue Wave might not be enough to make Aqua great again. Also remember, Overlord is getting a lot of support, which is also a painful counter for Aquaforce. We might actually be forced to run 4 Skyros, 3 Tavas and then some Melania, Stacia or even Ortia in order to be some kind of anti-meta rogue deck to deal with the control. If, however, Blue Wave gets anything that unbricks the hand or field and or gets something resist related, I totally see this deck becoming absolutely insane. That was it for this video. If you haven't subscribed to Solemn Vanguard yet, please do mash the subscribe button and then mash the bell button to get notifications about the latest videos. Like the video if you liked the video, and let's get a conversation going about our Aquaforce overlords down in the comments below. Ciao!